What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires, and as industry insider Jeff Snyder put it, Marvel Studios held a not-so-secret test screening for the Fantastic Four. That's where we got the leaks about the post-credit scene and plot details, and we'll be leaving that stuff alone in this video, but what we will be talking about is insiders across the industry revealing what their sources told them about the reaction to this test screening. We have several of them for you. Again, these are totally different sources. They all have the same thing to say, and well, we're going to talk about it because it's not as overwhelmingly positive as some of the earlier test screening reports had been, but this always happens with Marvel movies, and I actually have a lot of context to add. We're going to add the normal spoiler warning and break down the first reactions coming from industry insider sources about the test screening Marvel Studios just held for the Fantastic Four. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing lately and helped grow the community here at the channel at a breakneck pace. And if you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's the #1 thing you can do to support us as content creators, plus it'll enter you for all the giveaways. Stick around at the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so first up, the normal spoiler warning, but it's going to go a little different today. Of course, the people reacting to the Fantastic Four First Steps test screening were probably told that they weren't to share any details, including the reactions, but hey, this is the risk that any studio, including Marvel, runs when they do test screenings of the sort. But as I would say for this, just like we did for Captain America Brave New World when we were hearing a very similar thing, please try to remember that the sample size of the people seeing this test screening are very small. I've been in these pre-screeners before where they've shown a portion of the movie or the full movie, not the red carpet premieres I've been to, but actual media pre-screeners. I saw one for Wakanda Forever, and the number of people sitting in the theater here in Atlanta were less than 15. So just keep that in mind that this is a small sample size. You don't know what kind of biases that the people going to this movie have. Maybe they're casual fans, maybe they're not fans at all. Definitely not a litmus for the die-hard Marvel fan base that watches channels like mine, so keep that in mind and keep an open mind going to see this film regardless of what these early reports are. Now we'll go ahead and start with industry insider viewer Anon, who had to say this, quote, "General reaction I'm hearing is quote unquote okay, but it's not a big sample size. A couple of people have said the first act's kind of shaky, but it gets better once Galactus shows up." Now this next update comes from industry insider Jeff Snyder. Again, this is the guy who nailed Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom months in advance, so his track record is proven with some of his sources. This is what he had to say. Quote, "Last night there was a not-so-secret test screening of the Fantastic Four First Steps. My source called it both quote-unquote mid and meh, and not that bad, but not that good either." Now the next group of reactions reported came from industry insider Charles Murphy over on his editorial Murphy's Multiverse. This is as re-reported by superherohype.com, quote, "According to a new report from Murphy's Multiverse on the screening reactions, the upcoming take on the iconic Marvel group is described as a quote-unquote straightforward comic book adventure. Other reactions specifically mention Ralph Ineson's Galactus, who is described as terrifying and one of the best parts of the movie. The same audience member reportedly said that the film has a cosmic horror angle and feels very Lovecraftian, probably in regards to the inclusion of Galactus. Not everything was positive, however. Criticisms from the screening allegedly include lack of character development, as well as disappointing use of Reed's power, as well as the Thing reportedly not used at all in the movie, or rather just severely underutilized. So as a whole, it sounds like the best part of the film is Galactus's inclusion and the way that they chose to portray him, but rather the rest of the movie is lackluster, but according to these reports. Guys, we've been down this road before. It's the same thing that happened with Captain America, just a lot of people bashing the film before people even have a chance to get to the theaters and make up their own mind, with a very small sample size at that, saying it. Still, you can't deny that these reports, and coming from multiple different sources, all seem to say the exact same thing, that the movie's not as shiny or standout as we had hoped that it would be. It's maybe not the film that Thunderbolts was, which is absolutely an MCU classic right off the bat. So if true, where exactly does this leave Marvel Studios, as this is the last film before we get to the Avengers Doomsday film, and that's got another year and a half to go. If they come out of the gate with the Fantastic Four and say it's less good than Thunderbolts, then we have to wait another year and a half for a Marvel movie. What does that actually mean for Marvel? Well, I actually think it doesn't mean much at all. Look, the Fantastic Four are a major Marvel franchise, and they are going heads up against Superman. But if the Fantastic Four should come out and say underperform at the box office, I don't think that that ultimately has any bearing on how well Avengers Doomsday will do, and the year and a half in between the two films, if anything, might help Avengers Doomsday release giving it some space if the Fantastic Four doesn't perform the way that Marvel Studios is hoping. And if you're wondering what that exactly is, well, the $1 billion mark seems to still be the huge number that Marvel wants to go for, and with Deadpool and Wolverine having recently hit that, even with the underperformance of Captain America Brave New World and the Thunderbolts, you bet Marvel is still hoping that the Fantastic Four can come out and do something close to that number. And I just don't know if that number is realistic. Even if the Fantastic Four is as good as we all want it to be, we're sort of in a different era with box office for Marvel right now. And so again, I don't think this is the litmus test that fans may think it is, or those who want to love to hate on the MCU. If the Fantastic Four comes out and does a box office number of, say, $500 million or even $600 million, that is still a huge win by any box office standard and would make the studio money based on the budget. It just won't be the kind of number they're hoping the Fantastic Four can do. But I will also say, if the movie drops and it is not good, it lives up to these reports and it's actually very lackluster, well then word of mouth is not going to help carry that movie, and we'll have to see what ends up happening being stacked so close on top of Superman's box office release, whether or not that helps or hurts that they're going second with this movie. Ultimately, guys, I am super optimistic about the Fantastic Four. I think this movie is going to be great, and even if it isn't one of the best films, we still got a great Thunderbolts movie this year, and this will do a lot in setting up the team and these characters for Avengers Doomsday. I think it's going to do its job. There are a lot of Marvel movies and TV shows specifically that do struggle with pacing sometimes or tone, and so to hear that maybe it gets off to a rocky start in the first act but really picks up speed with Galactus, I have no doubt at all. And honestly, again, there's a diehard fan base intrinsically that watch channels like mine in our little corner of YouTube, and we're probably going to like a lot of things that maybe other fans aren't that into. But when you think about randoms coming in off the street and what the zeitgeist sort of says about Marvel right now, I can't really help but think that these reactions to the movies are just coming from people who don't really care at all, and I'm not really sure I care about what their reaction is to this film. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Are you buying into the hype or lack thereof? What do you think about what you've seen from the trailers so far? Remember to keep an open mind, and when tickets do go on sale next week, I believe it's June 4th, we'll be doing rounds of ticket giveaways here at the channel. Speaking of which, if you want to be entered for that or the PS5 giveaways, which will also be next month for Ironheart, all you got to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comments shown on the screen. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.